Hello and welcome. Today we're looking at the JJRC X9 Heron. This small brushless GPS quadcopter has a 1080p HD camera that streams in 5G Wi-Fi. It has a 2-axis stabilization gimbal. It has plenty of automated features such as auto takeoff, auto land, return to home, waypoints, follow me, and plenty of others. So let's check it out. Now the drone comes in this white rectangular box featuring the white model there in the front, and this is the JJRC X9 Heron for ages 14 plus, and this is a 5G Wi-Fi streaming quadcopter with a self-stabilizing camera. Here at the top you can see a listing of some of its features such as follow me, return to home, point of interest, 15-minute flight time, FPV streaming, 1080p camera, fail-safes, so on and so forth. Here on the side you could see the point of interest and follow me features diagrammed out. And here you could see the flight plan or waypoints feature along with the GPS positioning. Here is the black model there featured in the front along with the transmitter. And here at the bottom you can simply see the cautionary and warning notes. And you could see we have the white model checked off, and there is the option for the black model. So now let's open it up and check out what's inside here. Just open here at the top, and there's some black foam in there, so we'll pull that out. And let's see, right away we have the drone, and we have the manual underneath, and you can see the QR codes for the app. And it's a fairly thin manual, not much going on in there. Just talks about the basics in using the app and drone, so not much extra information. Here's the drone without the battery, so let's put on the battery. And it slides in pretty easily. You just snap it into place. And you just slide it in and it just locks into place there. So very sharp, very nice looking drone here. Here you could see the 2-axis gimbal 1080p camera that shoots in 1080p 30 frames per second, and it streams in 5G Wi-Fi. And underneath is its optical flow camera or sensor to maintain optical flow positioning for a precise and stationary hover. So pretty good there. And here are the rest of the items here. Let's take a closer look here at the transmitter. Pretty comfortable transmitter, and it has fold out antennas, which are most likely just for looks. They don't appear to be real. And here's its micro USB port to charge the internal battery, which is a 3.7 volt 2600 milliamp LiPo battery. And here is the proprietary charger for the drone's battery, and it simply plugs into the back of the proprietary adapter like so, and then the other end to the wall socket, and it quickly charges the drone's battery. And here we have a couple of little bags. This one here has a plug adapter for the charger, and it has a couple of spare propellers. And then in this bag we simply have the mobile device clip or mount that you put into the transmitter so that you can put your cell phone for FPV streaming. So let's organize all this and take one last look at the contents of the box. Now, taking a final look at the contents of the box, we have the drone itself. It's 11.4 volt 1000 milliamp LiPo battery, the battery's proprietary charger, 2 spare propellers, an Allen wrench, a plug adapter, the transmitter with its built-in 3.7 volt 2600 milliamp LiPo battery, the transmitter mobile device clip for FPV viewing on your mobile device, and the instruction manuals. So that's essentially the contents of the box. Now let's take a closer look at the drone. Now, taking a closer look at the drone, this is a compact drone that highly resembles a DJI Spark. And here in the front, it has its HD 1080p camera on a 2-axis gimbal. and it shoots at 30 frames per second in 5G Wi-Fi. Here below we have the optical flow sensor or camera that's mainly used for optical flow positioning, not for taking pictures or video. And as you can see, this is a brushless quadcopter, and it has the JJRC logo there at the top. And here in the back there's a plastic flap that opens up to expose the SD card slot and micro USB port, perhaps for firmware updates or charging. And then also there is a button there in the rear of the battery or the quadcopter to turn on the quadcopter or activate the battery. And you just simply press that in a couple of times and you will see that the LEDs are very bright, so good for orientation or an early evening flight. And here, if you double long press, you can turn off the battery and then you can disconnect it through the side latches. And so now taking a closer look here at the battery, this is an 11.4 volt 1000 milliamp LiPo battery, and it is interchangeable with the C-Fly Dream battery and drone, but not the DJI Spark battery. And it does charge with this proprietary charger, and it just simply snaps into place here. And it takes around an hour to 90 minutes to fully charge the battery. And there's a red LED light indicator on the charger letting you know that it's charging, and it turns green once it's fully charged. And once the battery is fully charged, it does provide the quadcopter with around a 15-minute flight time. And it's very easy to put back on. You just simply slide it back into place. And so very nice, simple design there, very convenient. And you could see down below it has these rubbery landing legs. And it's a fairly lightweight yet sturdy quadcopter that's very well lit. And now comparing it here side by side with the DJI Spark and the C-Fly Dream, it's virtually identical to the C-Fly Dream. And it looks a little different than the Spark, as you could see there in the center. And the main differences between this and the C-Fly Dream are that the C-Fly Dream did have dual GPS, in other words GLONASS and GPS, while this one doesn't. Yet this one has a 30 frame per second camera, while the C-Fly Dream had a 25 frame per second camera. Also, the transmitters are a little bit different on both the JJRC X9 and the C-Fly Dream. The X9 has a simpler, more intuitive controller, while the C-Fly Dream had a more advanced controller with more options. Also, the X9 is a bit cheaper than the C-Fly Dream, but in general, they're both virtually identical. They use the same battery and charger and a lot of the same components. And of course, the DJI Spark is in a different category than these. But here you could see how similar it matches the Spark's dimensions and appearances. So it's very similar to that quadcopter. So overall, a very neat drone. And so now let's take a closer look at its transmitter. Now, taking a closer look at the transmitter, this is a very comfortable and simple controller. And here in the back, you won't find any battery compartment, as it has a built-in 3.7 volt 2600 milliamp LiPo battery that charges right here at the top through this micro USB port, which are in between the antennas and the mobile device mount or clip at the top, which simply slides and connects into place. And now looking at the antennas, they are foldable antennas, and in this case they may actually be valid antennas. And this is how it looks when it's all compact, and then they're very simple to just fold back out again, and you can simply snap the mobile device mount back on. And it is a pretty spacious mobile device mount, but not enough to hold a tablet, just a large mobile device or cell phone. And as you can see, once you have that on, you can't fully fold the antennas, but not a big deal there. And now going over the controls a bit, we have the on-off button right here in the center, and you can see the two LED light indicators. Here's the photo and video button, where a short press takes a picture, long press takes a video. Here's the auto takeoff and land button. Here's the mode button, where if you long press it, you can disable GPS mode, or enable it. Here's the left throttle stick and right rudder stick, and then we have our return to home button, and right here we can tilt the camera manually through the controller, either up or down. And so this transmitter does provide the quadcopter with around 1,000-meter or kilometer range of control, which is very good. So that's essentially it for the transmitter. Now let's take a closer look at setting this up for a first-time flight and its app. Now, setting up for a first-time flight is very straightforward. Once you have a fully charged battery inserted into the drone, along with having the transmitter fully charged and having its mobile device mount installed with the cell phone on top, you would go ahead and activate the drone by pushing the battery's on-off button in the back, like so. And you would wait a couple of seconds until you hear the beeps and see the lights go on. Next, you would turn on the transmitter and push the center button to activate it. And now it should bind automatically out of the factory. No need to push the throttle stick up or down. And basically at this point, you would wait for GPS and satellite connection. But in order to do the calibrations, either compass calibration or gyro calibration, you have to first connect to the drone's app. So let's go ahead and do that right now. Now, once in your mobile device's Wi-Fi settings, you'll notice that the drone and transmitter actually generate two Wi-Fi hotspots. One is drone 9305CA and the other one is controller 9305CA. And you want to connect to the controller 9305CA, as that has the Wi-Fi repeater and will provide further FPV range. But either one will work, so we'll connect to the entry that says controller 9305A, and there's no password or anything. So once connected, you would go ahead and download and launch this app, which is Enjoy Fly with the blue drone icon, and it's in both the iOS and Android app stores. So you would go ahead and launch that, and you will be greeted with this screen right here. It says Enjoy Fly, Enjoy Life. So you would click Start, and right away you should have a live FPV feed with the quadcopter. Here it is, and it's very clear and has pretty low latency and very smooth image, so very clear there. And the FPV range is about 200 to 300 meters, so pretty good. Now, going over the app a little bit, there's a lot of telemetry throughout the app, such as right up here you can see the number of satellites and the battery percentage. And then right here at the upper right corner we have our settings where you can do your calibrations, either your GPS or gyro calibrations. Right here you can perform the compass calibration right over here, and you just simply follow the steps and rotate the quadcopter and perform a successful GPS compass calibration. Right here to the right we have the gyro calibration, which is pretty straightforward if the drone is on a flat surface. And then throughout the settings you have joystick settings, firmware updates, so on and so forth. Right over here, this should be to tilt the camera through the app. And then we have our video, and then our photo button, and then we have the photo gallery, and you have to accept permissions there to save the photos and videos to your camera roll on your mobile device, and you can view them through the thumbnails. And then right here you have some telemetry as far as the distance, height, speed, vertical speed, so on and so forth. Right over here you have your auto takeoff, and then over here you have your waypoints and point of interest, where you would just simply mark the waypoints and then submit them, and the aircraft will fly them. So you have to simply mark them on the map, and then you can go back to your FPV view and see the feed clearly there. So overall, a very neat package, very cool quadcopter for the price. It compares very well with the Seafly Dream. It has some advantages and a couple of disadvantages compared to that drone, as it doesn't have GLONASS GPS, but it does have a higher frame rate camera, higher capacity batteries, a simpler controller, and a lower price range. So let's take it out for a flight and see how she performs.